Hey everyone, J-Ro here, back with another Final Fantasy 7 Ever Crisis video, and today it is my great pleasure to bring you a kit overview for our new character, Cid Highwind. So everybody, let's welcome Cid to the game. Before we get into this character breakdown real quick, if you could please just go ahead and hit the like button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I put out more videos. Okay? Now let's get back into Cid here. Alright, so let's check out the character model real quick. I mean, he's Cid, he has spears. He looks like what I would expect for Cid. I mean, iconic character. I love it. Looks like a sailor. Looks like he's about to harpoon a whale. Looks great. Alright, so let's start off with let's go into stream real quick. Let's go here and let's go look at his limit breaks. Alright. As you can see, I haven't touched him yet. Apparently the game wanted me to have him at level 54. Alright. So the first limit break he has is called Boost Jump. Deals 1000% physical, magic, non-elemental damage to a single enemy. Also, on the first use, will apply stop to that same enemy for a duration of 5 seconds. Okay, so if you've had a chance to take a look at the X video, stop does apply, and it's really a good method of stopping the opponent's interruption gauge. That is one thing that I noticed that was real important about stop, is that it can stop the sigil phase gauge from continuing, so that gives you more time to destroy sigils, in this case an additional 5 seconds. Okay, so that's the 1800% charge speed. So the second one here, Dynamite, is our fast one. Okay, and it gives us physical magic damage 250% to all enemies, but also increases physical attack to all allies and magic attack to all allies mid to mid. Okay, so we get a 2-tier physical magical attack boost while also dealing a little bit of damage to our enemies. Not bad at all. Okay, next up we have his hyper jump. Hyper jump deals 1000% physical magical non-elemental damage to a single enemy. Also will apply stop to a single enemy for 8 seconds. So I'm guessing the major difference between boost jump and hyper jump is the duration, because it's only a 3-second difference in duration. So hopefully once leveled up there's a difference there, but maybe not. Okay, so that take care of his limit breaks. Let's go take a look at his outfit. Well, let's go back in here to party solo. Don't pay attention to my F13. Alright, going here, we're going to look at his starter outfit here. It's the Sky Loving Pilot. It has boost physical defense 4 points and crit 4 points. Not bad. Alright, while we're talking about outfits, let's go over here to the exchange and look at his gear voucher costume. So right here we have the Flying Captain. The Flying Captain is boost HP 8 points and magic defense 8 points. Not bad, and I actually like how this outfit looks. It looks, honestly, I don't know what they're going with this theme. Maybe I got Dynasty Warriors on the mind because it's getting ready to, a new Dynasty Warriors is getting ready to come out. But this outfit looks like something you see on one of the Soon Clan's characters. Alright, so that takes care of that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into what we're all here to get into. Let's look at some weapons. Alright, so let's go to weapon exchange. Let's scroll down to Cid, and we're gonna take this from bottom to top because that's where his older weapon, technical quote-unquote older weapons, would lead into his newer weapons. Alright, so starting with spear. Alright, I'm gonna look at all of these basically at OB10. So at OB10 we're looking at quad spike for 4 ATB, 750% physical non-elemental damage to a single enemy. It also does stop on the first use for 8 seconds. Not bad, okay. The R abilities are physical attack 62, ability potency 26. This is a pretty good R ability weapon based off of that. I mean, we need for those builds with those physical attack all weapons in the main hand, we really need weapons like this with a high physical attack in the back to balance them out. So that works out pretty good. Also to note, should be the, if I'm not mistaken, the weapon that we get from the X campaign. We should be getting 1 to 2 copies of it in our gift box. So make sure you check your gift box for that. All right. Next up, we have the Flash Lance. All right. So at OB10, the ability is 4 ATB, deals 540% physical non-elemental damage to all enemies, and also increases physical defense, high potency to all allies, max high. Okay, so let me take a look at this at lower OB real quick. So at OB1, all allies mid to high. Okay, not bad. That's actually pretty good. It goes mid to high on at base 5-star. That's good for AoE physical defense up. That's a pretty good weapon. Let's look at R abilities at max. R abilities are boost attack 31 points, buff debuff extension 52 points. Seems like he's gonna be a debuffer off the rip, just looking at these few weapons already. Then the other question I got is stop going to be affected by buff debuff extension? All right, let's keep it going. We're going into Trident now. At OB10, it is a 4 ATB cast for 620%. The name of the move is called Rising Harpoon. It does 620% physical non-elemental damage to a single enemy. Also, when his health is 70% or more, it inflicts poison to a single enemy for a duration of 30 seconds. Also, on the first cast, will do stop for 5 seconds. Not bad. Boost HP 62, buff debuff extension 26. Those are some pretty strong reinforcement R abilities. Like the health 62, that's pretty good. You'll never use this as a main hand, but you will definitely use it as a sub. The poison is interesting. I wonder if there's a percentage to it actually landing. I don't see it, but we'll have to test it out one day and find out. Okay. Let's see. Nope, everything looks good there. OB6, 26 seconds on the poison duration, and OB1, 26 seconds. Okay, so still all pretty good. All right, let's go into Pole Axe. All right, so at OB10, we're looking at it as the name of the move is Sharp Sonic. 4 ATB, does 540% physical non-elemental damage to all enemies. Physical attack is decreased mid to all enemies. Magic attack is decreased mid to all enemies. So this is basically a physical Kuja Spirit Blade. Okay, and I'm sorry I didn't mention it, but mid, max, high. Okay, so yeah, this is basically a Kuja Spirit Blade. Let's see if at lower, mid, lower. So OB6 is where you kind of want to see this weapon at when you do wish list it. The R abilities are kind of what makes it kind of meh, because it's boost HP and ability potency. When you use it, so this will be more of a good thing because he's basically being a debuffer while being able to survive. So I can imagine a team with him and Angel, and it's just tanky with a whole lot of HP and a whole lot of debuffing. All right, so let's go ahead and look at Partisan. Okay, we got our first elemental weapon here. Partisan is literally an AoE 520 wind damage and weapon for 4 ATB. So this weapon will be pretty good for a magic when user boosts a magic attack and win potency 52 points. That's pretty good. So this will be a good weapon to build over time for a win damage dealer, okay, for a sub. All right, so next up we have the Viper Hilbert at OB10. We're looking at imposing stance, 4 ATB, physical defenses increase high to himself, and magic defenses increase high to himself, both 38 seconds, and a magic heal cast of 15 seconds. Okay, so let's look at this OB one mid to high. Okay, so it's gonna start off mid to high, it's gonna end high to high, but it's a selfish weapon. It only boosts himself, but they are abilities though. Okay, so boost physical defense is 46 points, magic defense is 39 points. This is like a perfect sub weapon for Angel, especially for those builds where we're building him to tank either physical or magic. These R abilities are amazing for him. So this will be a good weapon to build for R abilities in the future. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at Radiant Lance. So Radiant Lance, okay, we're gonna make it OB10 here. Okay. We got Flying Spiral, 4 ATB, deals 750% physical non-elemental damage to a single enemy, and also increases the command gauge by 20%. That's interesting. Let's look at it lower right quick. 10% at base 5-star, OB1, and at OB6 it goes to 20%. Okay. So OB6 is good. The also increasing command gauge, that could come useful in battles where, like, the battle rankings, where lately a lot of those battle rankings have been where they're forcing us to have a slow increase on our command gauge, where it makes kind of the physical ability potency, and magic ability potency kind of meh to use in those battle rankings. But something like this, if we're bringing him along, it could find itself being useful. Our abilities are attack 31 points, boost ability potency 52 points. These are strong, good reinforcement abilities right here. I like that. This is good for any generic character because you can just place this on any character and it'll be great. So this is great for our abilities. Okay. So then let's go to Scimitar. Scimitar is OB10. We're looking at physical attack increase mid to a single ally to high. Magic attack mid to high on a single ally. Ice damage is increased mid to high. And a magic heal cast of 13%. So let's take a look at this lower right quick. Mid to mid at OB1, and it goes mid to high at OB6. So this is a good weapon to take to OB6, especially considering his limit break weapon, which we will get into in a second. Yeah, this is basically I don't know if you want to call it an upgraded or a downgrade, because you got Citric Wand that can do magic attack only up and ice up, but this does both physical and magic attack up and ice up all at once, but it's gonna take 2 casts to maximize it, whereas Citric Wand is 1 cast 3 ATB for just magic. So I guess this is good when you're considering a physical damage dealer. Also considering that the next guild battle is ice based, this might come in handy. Just gonna say it. The R abilities are boost, heal, and buff debuff extension, so that's really good considering this weapon is a buffing weapon if you do decide to use it. Okay. And one thing I didn't check through all of these is which weapons have a sigil breaker in them. So let me go back real quick before I go to the last one. So Radiant Lance has an X sigil boost. Hilbert, nothing. Partisan, nothing. Pole Axe, nothing. Trident, nothing. Slash Lance, nothing. Spear is probably nothing. Okay, so the only weapon outside of his limit break weapon, which we'll get into, like I said, in a minute, that has a sigil boost is the Radiant Lance with X sigil boost. Okay. And let's go into the last weapon here. We have the Flare. Let's look at it at OB10. It is a 3 ATB diamond sigil. 420% physical, 9 elemental damage. Also on the first use will do stop. So it does. So this is like the perfect diamond sigil breaking weapon. Like when you cast this, you're doing it in the diamond sigil phase. It's gonna provide you with that stop that's gonna stop the diamond sigil phase from proceeding, and you're gonna be able to do more damage and break the sigils a lot easier. HP and physical ability potency, these are decent abilities. No material slots are noteworthy here. All in all, I think his kit is pretty strong. Just based off of the regular weapons, because the limit break weapon in of itself would be a weapon that is going to outclass all of these, especially. So if I had to rank these, my top 5 are the Scimitar, mainly because it's an ice boosting weapon, so we're gonna need it pretty soon if we are building Cid anyway. Next up for me is Flare. Just because it's a 3 ATB diamond sigil, so you always need those for your summon battles and stuff like that, so this works out perfectly. My next one is Pole Axe, solely because it is basically a physical version of Kuja Spirit Blade. My fourth one that I like is Slash Lance, just because it is an AoE physical defense to all allies. You do have things like Quinta Megaphone and Stillwater Integrity within Jill, but those are also tied to physical attack up. This is a generic physical defense for all allies, not tied to any boost. So if you're not boosting physical defense up, you could always just bring this along. Also, the R abilities are pretty good, attacking buff debuff extension, so pretty good. And last but not least, the Viper Hilbert. And the main reason I like it is because of its R abilities. This is a weapon I will be taking up to OB10 over time, because of the fact that it has physical defense and magic defense, and that makes it a great weapon for backhand for any character that needs some more defense. Alright, so now that we've gone through all of his basic weapons, let's go ahead and take a look at, let's go to draw and take a look at his limit break, his new limit break stuff. I'm not going to be doing a full breakdown here because I am going to be doing a pool video and breakdown there. Okay, so let's take a look at the outfit real quick. Let's do a try on, take a look at it. The astronaut outfit, yes indeed, I like. I like this. This looks pretty good. Looks like he's came out of space. Look like he's about to chill. He's about to get himself back together. Alright, so let's see, what does the outfit do? It's called Astronaut. It's got buff debuff extension to all allies, 5 points, which gives everybody's buff debuff extension of 20%. So him alone can increase the timing of buffs and debuffs. So I can see this being combined with Cloud, and his lock sword. Anybody that does their own buffing while he's on team with them is gonna be greatly increased. Okay, So let's take a look at the second R ability. It's called Cosmic Protection. Physical and magical defense 20% and physical magic attack 10%. So this is basically electro armor. Okay, but on Cid, but a better, in a way, in a better sense, because this is like, okay, I can defend and I can provide you guys with extension on your buffs and debuffs. Like, so combine this with someone like Aerith, who's already, like, Aerith stuff is gonna be lasting like 2 minutes long almost with him on team with her. Wow. Okay, so let's take a look at his new limit break weapon, the Rocket Lance. We're going to take a look at it at OB10. It's a 4 ATB cast. It's called Cosmic Burst. Deals 620% magic non-elemental damage to a single enemy. Also, status ailment Enfeeble is implied for 70 seconds. Ice resistance decreased high. So this is an Ice Imperial weapon that gives us a new debuff called Enfeeble. I'll look that up in just a second. Okay. It's boost attack all allies. Very similar to the Blue Daffodil gloves for Tifa. And it has buff debuff extension. So his kit is literally made for buffing. It looks like, as far as a buffer goes, it looks like he's #1 now. And if this is a sign of things to come with this ice resist Imperial, he didn't have any other Imperials in his kit, but he has that Scimitar that can boost physical magic attack and ice damage up. So you combine this with this weapon, and that DPS is hitting like a truck. So even then, and then also think about that, combine it with Tifa. Wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go read what Enfeeble does. Hold on, I need to find out what Enfeeble does. Alright, so let's go down here to help. Let's go down here to battles. Let's go down here to buffs and debuffs and scroll down to Enfeeble. Okay, Enfeeble right here. It increases the potency of stat debuffs. Okay. Increases the potency of stat debuffs. So, and incapacitates the target and prevents their ATB gauge from filling. Okay. Interesting. Enfeeble. So, increases the potency of stat debuffs. So I wonder if that increases any damage. I'm assuming that means it increases debuffs like ice resist down and stuff, or maybe we'll have to see. I'm interested in figuring out how that actually works. I don't know at the moment. If you know how that works, let me know down in the comment section. Okay, I'm stumped on that one. All right, so we've looked at the limit break weapon and everything. Let's go take a look at the exchange again. Let's go to his guild weapon real quick, because he did come in. He did have a guild weapon drop. We do have the mop. Funny. All right, cleaning mop is the name of the move. For ATB, deals 540% physical non-elemental damage to all enemies, and on the first use will do stop to all enemies. That's kind of good. That's actually pretty good, honestly, for a guild weapon. Interesting. Okay, we got earth resist 31 points, physical defense all allies 39 points. So the basic elemental resist and a physical or magical defense up to all allies. Then he also has a X sigil on this weapon. So there's 2 weapons with X sigil, 3 weapons if you count the limit break weapon. Okay. And let's finally take a look at his ultimate weapon. All right, the ultimate spear. It has a charge of 30 seconds, one-time use. It does increase the limit gauge 20% to a single ally. It also increases physical attack to high for a single ally for 30 seconds. and does a 5% magic heal. Okay, so this is a weapon meant to be worked with a physical DPS. Also, it increases their limit gauge. I wonder if that will affect some engages, but it does specifically say limit gauge, so we'll have to test it and see. The R abilities are buff debuff extension and boost magic defense. So, what do I think of Cid overall? Let's go here. I just want to click back in. Let's click back in on him over here. Alright, so what do I think of Cid overall? Overall, I'm believing Cid is going to make a great addition to the game. He is coming in as a ultimate debuffer and buffer. Something that you would think probably Barrett or Matt would have been already. But you know, he's just doing it better. I think he's gonna max out buff debuff extension with no problem. That R ability seems like it's nothing for him. So all of his buffs and debuffs are going to last for a long period of time. And then on top of that, with his new limit break stuff, he's gonna be a great mainstay. I don't know how people will feel about trying to build him early, because of the simple fact that is literally what he's doing. He's buff debuffing. He's not a DPS in no shape or form. He is strictly a support character. But what he's bringing to the game is stop. So just like Kate brought haste to the game, he's bringing stop. So eventually that does mean I said haste, but that does mean stop will be with some other characters eventually. We hope, because we still don't have anybody that can do veil and provoke. So there's that. But this is the first character also that I've noticed that has something that boosts the limit gauge outside of Vincent. So those things are all things to take into consideration. Ultimately, teams are starting to look like you're going to have a buffer, a debuffer, and a DPS. One of the, either the buffer or debuffer, is going to be a healer as well. Like, I can't wait to get to testing him with ice damage once I get the Scimitar build and his limit break weapon built and him himself built. Limit breaks, they're okay. I mean, two of them seem like they do the same thing, so I don't really know what to gauge that. But I think that will conclude our breakdown of Cid's kit. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. And I'll see you in the next video. Later.